I'm at the Society of Automotive Engineers World Congress in Detroit, and this is a gathering of people who, up until now, have literally been in charge of the nuts and bolts that go into your vehicle, and increasingly, they're in charge of the self-driving cars of the future. So at this event, you've got technical trainings, you've got components vendors, you've got people who make tools who make it easier for automotive engineers to do their jobs. You've got the latest version of the SAE's autonomous car driving demo, which we have covered previously. There's an engineering competition for kids called Jet Toy, where they're building these little toy cars that are powered by balloons, and it's a way for them to learn about engineering basics. There's also a bagel wall. There are many overlapping technical innovations that need to happen in order for self-driving cars to become a reality, but the one unifying benefit across all of them is the vision of a future with zero motor vehicle deaths.
So last year in America, 37,000 people were killed on our roadways. Globally, 1.3 million. Last year, Americans sat for 97 hours in traffic.
We're not there yet, but we're working on it. I'm here with Ed Straub. He's the head of the Automated Vehicle Safety Consortium, which is a new initiative under SAE. You guys are working on safety measures and safety protocols for level 4 and level 5 autonomous vehicles. Aren't you guys a little ahead of the curve on that?
What we're seeing are an increase in the number of pilot projects and demonstration projects around the country. We see that now. We saw an opportunity for these companies with a wealth of safety and testing experience to get together and come up with best practices, common practices, and share that with the public.
The SAE set the standards for autonomous vehicles on a scale of level 0 to level 5. Level 0 having no autonomous capabilities, and level 5 being the autonomous utopia where the car can completely drive itself without any human interaction. Depending on who you ask, we're somewhere around the level of level 2 or level 2 plus, as Erez Dagan, who's the head of ADAS and AD for Mobileye, said today.
You added a term L2 plus today, and I've seen that term used before, but it's not always used with the same definition. What are your thoughts about what the automotive industry, including the supply base, companies like Mobileye, can do to bring some clarity to that?
Anything that is lower than level 3 assumes that the driver is liable for what's going on in the vehicle. It's very simple. Level 3 and above introduces different types of autonomy. Level 3 is conditional autonomy. When we talk about level 4s and level 5, which is the utopia, level 4 is full autonomy, meaning that a vehicle could stop, is liable for what's going on, and could handle with exceptions all the way to reaching a safe state.
Autonomous vehicles are mostly in a testing phase. They're in controlled environments, they're not ready for the mass market, and at the same time you have a lot of consumer vehicles now and a lot of options for what's called ADAS or driver assistance, and that's something that's more ubiquitous, and that technology is helping us get towards a more autonomous future. For a company like Mobileye that's able to collect data from all over the planet about how people get around, there's a feedback loop between autonomous driving technology and driver assistance technology. And those two interactions will feed into each other to create their RSS model, which is a mathematical formula for how autonomous vehicles should behave in the real world.
The RSS is based on pure formula.
Right.
But based on a pure interpretation with clear kinematic parameters of what each agent should be assuming when he's negotiating. And it's not open for interpretation or for gestures or for a nice smile. That's not the point. That's exactly what we wanted to take out of the equation.
Or the opposite of a smile.
Exactly.
There's another conversation here that's not just about the technology, but whether or not the public will trust it. And that's an area where there's a lot of work being done in terms of surveys of the public, education, and the SAE has a big role in that.
How is Mobileye thinking about validating the technology to the point where you're comfortable with saying, okay, we now trust, and you should trust this technology?
So we are in multiple channels of discussion with standardization bodies, with SAE in particular. In China, we have a lot of traction And with regulatory bodies, we do believe that through the regulator acceptance and regulator education, the trust will trickle down to society. The regulator is the gatekeeper and is usually tougher, much tougher than the society.
My key takeaway is that while autonomous vehicles are still a number of years off, we still have a very active ecosystem as evidenced here at this event. The next big step for the industry is going to be to get the price of these autonomous vehicle capabilities and these driver assistance capabilities low enough so that massive scale can be achieved. You know, people are walking around saying the car that you will buy this month may be the last car that you own. I'm not so sure about that, but increasingly we're seeing cars with these features that are working towards a fully autonomous future.